Hi guys, and welcome to this video on the new moon in Pisces that happens on the 2nd of March 2022. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to give you a rundown of what this chart next to me is all about, what energy this new moon is going to bring up for you and how you can use it to your advantage. So it happens at 6:34 in the evening, and that's based on Europe time. A new moon is when the sun and the moon, they conjunct. The moon goes pitch black and it goes inward. So it's not so interested in being on stage and saying, look at me. It's taking a time out. It's taking a personal moment for itself to recharge its batteries and to think about what's coming next. So the moon has a 28-day cycle. When it is dark like this, it says, what's important? How can I use my energy? What do I have control over? And how can I plant different seeds of intention, which are then going to grow in future? I heard something really nice the other day, by the way. I heard the best tree is the tree you planted 20 years ago. The second best tree is the tree you plant today. So certain things in life take a little bit of time, but sometimes it's important to say, okay, even though I don't have the outcome in my life already, I trust and I have faith that I can have this outcome in my life. I'm going to plant this seed today and then watch it grow slowly over time. And that's what I get particularly for this new moon, because it's at 12 degrees in Pisces. So a new moon pulls loads of energy in because it is recharging its batteries. So in this case, the energy that's being pulled in is Pisces energy. Pisces is the sign of the zodiac that looks to the other side and says, okay, what is next? What is this all about in the grand scheme of things? And what is the bigger picture here? I want to connect spiritually to understand my experience on planet Earth, and it gives you this amazing spiritual perspective on everything. It's at 12 degrees, 1 and 2 is 3, 3 in numerology is about communication and new beginnings. New beginnings, new moon, new beginnings, pioneering, boss energy. So you're able, 1, to communicate with your higher self very easily, your imagination, your feelings, your dreams, your bigger, what I'm trying to say is the bigger perspective or the spiritual truth that you have for your life. And if you don't understand who you are and what your truth is, this is the kind of energy that allows you to get very clear on that and to say, this may be right for other people, but on a fundamental level, I know it isn't right for me. Instead, this is the way I want to go. So it's an amazing dialogue between your higher self, your true self, and your experience down here on planet Earth. It therefore gives you information, ideas, but it also gives you energy. Because whenever you're meditating or connecting with your higher self, the stuff that you get back, the energy you get back, it is very full of different things. You're not only going to feel inspired, you're not only going to feel recharged, you're also going to feel loved and comfortable. And that's why I'm always banging on about meditation is so important and talking to your higher self is important, because it actually does support you and it gives you good ideas which feel good and which make you much calmer when you pursue those avenues. So on a very literal level, a new moon at 12 degrees in Pisces means that you can speak to the other side very easily. So if you do work with spirit, if you're an artist and you source your creative, your masterpieces from your higher self, then 2 thumbs up. If you're a medium or a Reiki healer or a psychic or a channel, you're going to find it very easy to do this kind of work on the 2nd of March. So if you have the ability to kind of perform on that day or to manage your schedule around so that you're tapping into these things at this time, you're going to be at the top of your game. So the new moon then, it conjunct Jupiter at 14 degrees in Pisces. Jupiter is 2 degrees away. 1 and 2 is a relationship, so it forms a very close relationship with Jupiter. Jupiter is the good luck planet. In Pisces, it means that, again, literally, good luck comes from your higher self. 1 and 4 is 5. 5 is freedom. So the way to solve the situation, any sort of problem, anything that's got you stumped or where you feel blocked, the way to overcome that is to go within and to see what the solution is, rather than trying to acquire the solution from other people or the real world or a book that you read. Jupiter also is the biggest planet in our solar system. It's expansive, right? So it makes everything bigger, and because it's in Pisces, it's kind of taking the spiritual realm and putting it under a magnifying lens. Things that you don't usually see, you see really easily on this day. So again, if you're unclear about where you're at, or you feel like you've gone off the rails, or you have to start all over again, this is the kind of day where you can access the truth of who you are spiritually, that's going to help you, and to minimize all the stuff that's resulted in dead ends in your life. And because it is good luck, if you listen to the info you get, it's very likely to be lucky and to work in your favor. Then we have Neptune at 22 degrees in Pisces. So that's still a conjunction. I count a conjunction as two planets or luminaries being within 10 degrees of each other. Other astrologers are going to use different orbs. I use 10 degrees. So Neptune is the water planet of intuition and dreams and imagination. In Pisces, that's the sign that it rules, water and water. It gives you even more access to the spiritual realms. And 22 degrees is the master number of the builder. So the spiritual truths and insights that you receive on this day, you can use as a foundation for your new life. So I know I'm talking in very grand terms here, but this is a new moon that's so big that it can be life-changing, in the sense that you finally get the information that you require, and you're able to use it and work with it in a way that's going to have a long-term influence on your future. Okay, then we've got a couple of aspect patterns here in the chart. First of all, we have Jupiter in Pisces forming a sextile with Uranus in Taurus at 11 degrees. Uranus is the chaotic and the miraculous and the unexpected. In Taurus, it's in an earthy sense. So it relates to your circumstances in your life not being super quiet and predictable. There may be certain things going on that feel like they're outside of your control. And with it forming a sextile with the lucky planet Jupiter, and it being at 11 degrees, the answer is you can be of service to yourself if you look at all of these chaotic influences in your life, and rather than being stressed out by them and feeling like you've lost control, listen to your intuition. It's going to help you navigate through the situation, and you don't need to do a bunch of paperwork or analysis or speak to the local professor about his views on the situation that you're going through. It's much more about, what does my gut tell me? Should I go or shouldn't I? Keeping it very simple and saying, this is the next step that's ahead of me. What does my instinct say about it? Should I move forward or should I just stay put? And I'd like you to keep it as simple as that, and not to try and figure out the next 3 years, but to approach every situation as that. This is the next thing I'm being confronted with. What does my heart say about it? Jupiter then also semi-squares Venus and Mars in Capricorn at 26 degrees and 27 degrees. Venus at 26 degrees in Capricorn gives you a real sense of power and confidence when you're looking at your practical circumstances, work or finances or where you live, security, bank balances, your physical health, your appearance. And it said, I'm strong enough to take this situation and to alter it. I don't have to stay in this job if I don't like it. If I don't like my weight in my physical body, I can change it. If I don't like the way these walls look, then I can paint them. It gives you this ability to look at what could be and then to do something about it. Mars at 27 degrees in Capricorn is interesting, because Mars in Capricorn says work really hard. You're capable. You want to get somewhere in life. But 27 is spirituality and completion. So it's asking you to work with something in order to finish off a cycle. And I feel it's this cycle of knowledge being something that's scarce and rare. I feel that you get all the information that you need by Neptune and Jupiter, And if you then hand that over to Mars as such, it's like, here's the info, thank you, can you work with it, please? Then Mars is going to be more than thrilled to say, yeah, let's take these ideas that you've got and let's make them a real thing on planet Earth. So the two elements that are strongest on this day are earth and water. They're both feminine elements. And like the tarot, in the tarot we have court cards, right? We have kings and queens. And I mentioned this earlier in the week, but the kings are the ones that are meant to create and that build something unique and that has never existed before. And it's that builder energy of the masculine as it's represented in the tarot. The feminine is about looking at what already exists and perfecting it and beautifying it and making it accessible for other people so that it serves the greater good. And both these elements today are feminine. So the water stuff allows you to look at what's going on in your mind and in your imagination and in your spiritual truth and what you want to change about that, what you want to receive. And then the earthy stuff is how it translates into your practical life. So you're really a designer of your own life. And you're able to do that in a very skilled way, because Venus is love and beauty and creativity. When she paints something or says something, it comes across beautifully. So not only are you able to make changes, you're going to make changes that you can fall in love with and that really serve you. Yeah. Okay, what else have we got? So those two, we've got that sextile, we've got the semi-square. Then the descendant, the chart is like a clock, right? So we've got the rising of this chart in Virgo, that's sunrise. Then we've got the midheaven in Gemini, noon. Pisces descendant, that's sunset. And then the IC in Sagittarius, that's the middle of the night. So the descendant is what you're looking for. Oh no, the sun's setting, let me chase after it. So it's kind of what's out of your reach. And the descendant is in Pisces at 23 degrees. So what seems to be lacking is spiritual freedom. And that's what you're able to bring into your life by connecting on a spiritual level and then implementing the information that you get to create freedom in your life. So that descendant then, it trines the south node at 26 degrees in Scorpio. The south node is where you're coming from on a spiritual level. Again, 26 is 8, that's power. And Scorpio is emotional strength and emotional control. So the only way I can say this is it's not like you've taken a Xanax and you've got amnesia and you don't know what planet you're on and who you are. You know exactly who you are, where you've come from, what your experience is, what you've survived, and what you want to take control of in future. Example, I want to take control of my relationships so that I don't allow all these toxic people to run around my life. I want to bring more people into my life who love me. That's what I mean by emotional control. So you're redesigning the landscape of your relationships to make them better for you. That south node then in Scorpio, it quincunxes Black Moon Lilith at 25 degrees in Gemini. And Black Moon Lilith is the part of the chart where your ego tries to hold you back a little bit because you're getting warmer and closer to having a breakthrough, right? So Black Moon Lilith in Gemini says, don't be so open about what you're feeling. Keep it to yourself. And certainly don't get creative with it. That's a big no-no. So with the ego, with Black Moon Lilith and Chiron, doing the opposite usually works really well. So actually sharing this with your higher self, with other people, with your life. And what I mean by that is, I have these ideas, I'm going to make an impression on my life. I'm not just going to be quiet and sit back and be passive, I'm going to be active. So Black Moon Lilith is saying, please don't be active, be passive and go hide in the corner. The reality is, do be active, roll up your sleeves and get to work. That's going to lead to the breakthrough, to the success. Okay, anything else in the chart? We've got this stellium. Stellium is when 3 or more planets are lumped together. And people are always like, what? So I like to spell it out. It's Stellium. Stellium, stellium. And we've got Venus and Mars and Pluto and Saturn and Mercury. Well, yeah. Well, Venus, Mars and Pluto first and foremost in Capricorn. And they're saying, if you do get to work and if you use your strength, then you can transform your life, as in a pile of ash to being a lovely phoenix, which is a big deal. And then Saturn and Mercury in Aquarius, oh, they're saying the only snag here is that you may find it more comfortable than to go within and to ask yourself, you know, am I on track enough? It's going to be much easier to go see a vicar or something who then tells you what's right and wrong. Or joining a group of people who say, well, this is what life is about, and that's what the afterlife looks like, and you have to believe what we say. That you're going to be susceptible to buying into that because it seems much more straightforward than figuring out by yourself. And that's the big warning. Don't be so willing to buy into other people's version of what this is all about. You have an opening here to figure it out for yourself. Chiron at 10 degrees in Aries. Similar to Black Moon Lilith, it says, don't act independently. It'll go wrong. So the answer is, do act independently because that will heal you. And then the North Node at 26 degrees in Taurus, the aim of the game, the direction you're moving in, is to have more control of your life. And you will get that control in your life if you get the most important info about your life from the expert. And the expert is you, because you're actually living it, not your mom. Okay, that then creates a grand trine. Do you see the big blue triangle in the chart? It connects the North Node in Taurus with Venus and Mars in Capricorn. And then another trine to the rising in Virgo at 23 degrees. So a grand trine is always a talent. And this one is in the element of Earth. Earth is the physical world and all the things you do in the physical world, which is endless. Your sleep schedule, your work, the way you're dressed, your health, your family life, the environment you live in, desert or mountains. It's anything of the real world. So the big talent is that you feel very grounded. At the same time, you've got Jupiter and Neptune and the new moon in Pisces giving you this amazing spiritual awareness. So really, you've got one foot on the other side and one foot on planet Earth. And because you're so balanced out, you can go back and forth in terms of, I've got a problem on planet Earth, universe, tell me how to solve it. Okay, tick. And the other way around too. So spiritually, I don't feel very connected, or I don't feel like I'm hearing my message. What can I do in a practical sense to make that better? So for instance, I can start to meditate, or I can do a contact sport because that clears my head, or I can run on the treadmill because that's when I get good ideas. Virgo at 23 degrees means that if you want to have a greater sense of freedom, look at your circumstances, analyze them, and get the answers from your higher self. Venus and Mars in Capricorn means that you're very able and capable in affecting change. And the North Node in Taurus means that putting those two together will put you in a position where you have more control of your circumstances, of your life, and that it suits you better. And then, this is really rare, we have two sextiles sitting on top of one of the trines, one of the sides of this big blue triangle, creating a kite. And if you kind of tilt your head and turn the chart upside down, it literally looks like a kite. And a kite, I don't know if you've read, there's an amazing book about Afghanistan called The Kite Runner. I read it, it made such a big impression on me. And there are descriptions of a kite in there as symbols of hope. If you're in a little town or something and someone flies a kite, everyone sees it. It's something that transcends, and it's so flimsy in its build, but it's so able to use the element of air and to elevate itself that it's really kind of something special to me. So it says that no matter how limited you feel, or how wounded or damaged, or how amazing or wonderful, it really doesn't matter where you're at. You can always transcend your circumstances regardless, by simply using the elements and the things in life that are available to you free of charge anyway. You're able to find an out. Oh, that is such a relief. I don't know about you, but certain things in my life, I'm like, okay, can't do anything with it. But the kite and the chart is saying that there are no such things. And if we only if we only go to the right thing or place or higher self or person or whatever it may be, we can always transcend. I like that a lot. The kite in itself also is innocence. I mean, if I think of a kite, I don't think of a 60-year-old man flying one. Sorry, I think of a little kid. So it's about getting back to your inner child, your true self, and saying, what brings me joy and how can I make myself happy by transcending things? How can I be proud of myself in my life by taking these circumstances and refusing to be beaten by them? And instead, I'm going to overcome this and then sit there on my couch every day and say, oh my God, aren't I great? I overcame that. And no one can take that from me because I did it myself. And that builds evidence that I am happy being me because look at everything I've done. The kite in the chart, same thing. It's a talent that can allow you to transcend your circumstances. And the two sextiles on top of the grand trine bring in the south node in Scorpio. So it's the understanding of where you've come from and who you are, and your willingness to take responsibility for who you are. That's with the kite peaking on that position, that's what brings everything together on this day, because ultimately it's your willingness to work with what you've got that allows change. If you're unwilling to accept yourself or see yourself or recognize where you are, then you can't do anything about it because you're in denial. It's not just a river in Egypt. Okay. We almost have a mystic rectangle. A mystic rectangle is a big blue rectangle that consists of two sextiles and two trines. In this chart, you'll see we've got two trines, one sextile, one of the sides is missing, but I still kind of count these things because So it connects the north node in Taurus with the rising in Virgo, the south node in Scorpio, and Neptune at 22 degrees in Pisces. So a mystic rectangle is what it says on the tin. It means that you have this mystical ability. And again, it means that on a practical sense, you can make sense of the real world and as a result, take charge. And that understanding is supported by your awareness of self, your connection to your higher self. And when you bring all of that together, then you have a wondrous ability to redesign your circumstances. Yes. Oh, okay, we've got more. We've got a T-square. A T-square is an opposition and two squares on top of it to create a big red triangle. Connects the Virgo rising with the descendant in Pisces, and then Black Moon Lilith and the midheaven in Gemini. So it's that friction between do I source things and then keep them to myself? Or do I allow myself to be creative and to express a new beginning? And it's what I talked about with Black Moon Lilith earlier, which is trying to say, oh, don't do it on your own, don't get creative, because you are getting warmer and warmer and warmer. So take that friction for what it is and say, okay, thank you, ego, for telling me to zip it. I'm not going to, I'm going to do it anyway. Thank you very much. That's like an addiction, you know, like when you're addicted to something, and it's like, I'm going to stop. And then you go into withdrawal and the inner monster starts screaming. And instead of saying, I'm going to give in to you screaming, you say, oh, you're upset, are you? Keep screaming. Eventually you'll die. And I applaud that. So don't believe everything you think or feel. Sometimes realize that you can transcend these things, and the in-between period isn't that important. Focus on things that make you feel like you are right and on the right track and supported and loved. Okay, and that's it. Finished. So I hope that's given you something to go on for this new moon in Pisces on the 2nd of March. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I hope you get loads of inspirational ideas for what you can do next and what's really going to work for you. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, scroll down a little bit until you get to the book your readings button. Click on that to order your reading with me. And I use astrology, the tarot, and numerology in my personal readings. I combine them all the way. I combine the numbers here with the astrology. I combine all three in my personal reading. And that really shows me everything about you. Sometimes I'm just amazed that I have access to this stuff. If you've got a question about what is my default setting that I want to work on, or what am I supposed to do in work, or what's coming up in future, or where should I live, the charts plural, as in progress charts and transits and astrocartography and your birth chart, they give me answers to all those things. So if you have any questions at all where you do want some answers, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, then please share it online if you can. I mean, if, you know, your family's going to shun you because you're watching astrology videos, then obviously don't. But if you are able to share it, then that would be really nice for my channel, because the more people who watch these videos, the more that keeps me going, and it keeps the channel growing, and it means that this continues working, which I'm ever so grateful for. So that'd be hugely appreciated. If you want to join us on this channel, then hit subscribe and give the video a thumbs up as well, because that makes it appear more in results, apparently. I don't know much about the algorithm and all that stuff. So the only thing I know about the algorithm is that if I'm talking to someone and they want to show me something on YouTube, I get them to show me on their phone rather than putting it into my phone. Because if it's something like University Challenge or something that I'm not interested in, then doing one search means those videos appear for the rest of my, well, I'm exaggerating. Those videos then keep appearing and I don't want to see them. So, yeah, that's the only thing I know about the algorithm. But, oh, there, yes. Apparently doing a thumbs up helps the videos appear higher up in the searches or something. So that'd be awesome. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. And check out some of my other videos, the daily tarot readings, the weekly horoscopes, and the personal videos I do, which I haven't made one of those in a long time. I think I'm going to have to do an update or something. Have an amazing time here during this new moon, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.